Namaste. Hello, I'm Anita and welcome to my channel. First of all, I want to explain what Namaste means, and it's been I always say that when I open up my video, when I say hello in my videos, and it means the divine in me honors the divine in you, and you bow your head and you do this. And then it's like, I think it's a beautiful thing, which I picked up in India, and I've been doing it ever since, so it's with me. Anyway, and now I'm losing a nail. God damn it, I have to glue it on. I will do that in 2 seconds. Sorry. Well, I was going to talk about becoming a vegetarian and being in jail, and I wanted to show you, I worked a little more on the shoes I made before. But first I want to readjust this nail. This nail. And I use one of my own hacks. Well, it's not my hack, it's everybody's hack. But I use the Vaseline, as I just talked about in my prior video, to make the top lid not stick so the glue will last forever. It's still kind of hard to make it all like down, closed, but it's working. I just saw a trick on a beauty hack on YouTube, and it was how to make your eyelash pop and be glittery. I normally don't have problems with this, but I wanted to try out this girl's trick. I don't remember her name. She was a random girl I watched, and she used eyelash glue, and then she just popped the eyelash glue on, and then she put on the glitter, and you need to have a little light to see the glittering. Over here I got a little black in it, and there's a little hole, and it looks a little bit retarded, but no other way than that it looks okay. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I did with my shoes, and after that I'm going to tell you my experience of the day being in jail. You saw I made the heels, and you saw that I had made the spikes on top of them, but then there was not enough to make these full of rhinestones, so I just gave them a stripe. But this stripe just finishes off these shoes. They are now adorable, and I fucking love them. So, and they fit, they don't hurt to walk, and they're good to wear. And what did they cost me? What, $2? Anyway, I told you earlier today, was talking about living in a mental institution and for the criminal insane, and I am of course surrounded by people who have done all sorts of crimes, from rape till murder, and mostly murderers though, and that is very hard, and most being boys and trying to be very badasses. And though they are just like small children, all of them, but one of them in particular, he's very psychotic at the moment. He was all day just like bitching and saying to me, your mother is dead, your mother is dead, your mother is dead. And I finally got enough, and I told him, no man, your mother is fucking dead. And then he goes like, you killed my mother! It's like, this is a crazy place to be, man, but it's okay. I'll deal with it a little at a time, but, well, you get a lot of funny stories to tell, and this was one of them. So I feel sorry for the dude, but I got sick of listening to this because my mother's not dead. Of course she's not dead. She's traveling. She's in Turkey at the moment. Lucky bitch. Lucky woman. I love her. She's not a bitch. Well, she can be, but who can't? I'm a bitch. I mean, sometimes. So, anywho, yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to say to you today. Show you this eye thing and explain the Namaste thing and just be there. I wish I could be live talking to you. I wish that I didn't was so bored all the time. I wish that I could get out of here. But it's like you have to apply, and I applied for the change in my sentence over 6 months ago, and we haven't heard a single thing. So I'm considering actually either making a video and sending it to them, explaining how I am and how I feel, and then I really think it's about time that they let me out for my small crime, and that it's about time that I get a little support from the outer world it's not like I have lack of friends or lack of people who loves me, but it's like I have lack of life. Life is moving on without me, and it's making me very sad sometimes. It's just to think about. Anyway, I remember now I wanted to talk about becoming a vegetarian. I've been watching this girl a lot. Her name is Banana something, and she's very popular, and she lives raw till 4 and all this, and she made me want to become a vegetarian, not a vegan. I can't go vegan from being a meat eater all my life to being a vegan, and I have too many things that I'm not getting rid of just because I don't believe in throwing things away, even though you have them and they are made of animals. But I believe that you should live as purely as you can without hurting animals or human beings. And so like 1.5 months ago I decided to become a vegetarian, and it's been a journey because it's been very hard for me not to eat meat because they all eat meat here and it's there right in front of you. But I've been doing almost 100% pure. I had some eggs and a few times I had a little bit of meat, but I felt really like bad about it every time, like physically bad. I like being a vegetarian, and they give me this special food. One thing I have to say about this place is the food is like top notch. It wasn't but they got a new kitchen ordering, kitchen staff and kitchen chef and kitchen what do you call it? Kitchen arrangement, you can say. 1.5 years ago, 1.5 years ago, and since then the food has been ecological, and it's been so fucking up there. It's like in jail the food was like really scumbag, and the other place I was before I got here was really bad, and here it was horrible until suddenly they changed, and now it's like you can't go wrong with this food. But people always bitch about it anyway. It's like when you're in a place like this, people always bitch about the food, and even though it's really delicious and good food, they have to bitch about something, so they're bitching about the food, and you can't blame them because they got nothing else to do. But I want to support the fact that they actually did do something good, and that is making that food, and that you can make special orders, and that they are going to write down stuff that I don't like to ingest. Like I don't like pineapple in my food. Today was pineapple in my food. So what I'm having this today. I don't know if you can see it. It is rice with peas and some gravy over it. I want to taste it. It's great. But this looks sickly boring, and it is. But compared to that they one time out of 100 make something that I don't like, I'm fine with that, and I can deal with this. The gravy is really good, and no animals has been killed to make this food, so that is great. So I want everybody to support vegetarians and don't like judge them or like think that they judge you because you eat meat. But this girl Banana Nana, she made a video saying everybody who eats meat should deserve to die, and like that's just putting it out there and being too rough. I mean, you can't say that people deserve to die to eat meat if they will, that's just, I don't even know how to digest that, because you don't deserve to live if you think people deserve to die to eat meat because you feed meat to children. Does children deserve to die? And also, it's like a way we had to survive when we were like, before we got evolved into like being able to live without food. There was a time period where we were not going to live without meat. So she's the descendant from meat eaters, and she wants people to die. That practically means she wants to kill the world. So I think she's a little off there, even though I like her channel and I think it's great what she's doing. Except that she's like showing her belly so much, it's almost pissing me off, because yeah, you're skinny girl, okay? Show it off. Not everybody can go skinny just because they eat raw till 4 or they're vegetarians, and not everybody can go skinny. Something is in the genes, and there is a disease with where you can get obese and suffer from obesity, and you can't help it. And in my situation, I can do a lot of exercise here, but mainly I cannot do exercise all the time, so I sit a lot down. I don't have the same opportunities as other people, So like judging and putting everybody in one and showing off her belly in all her videos pisses me off, man. I don't want to see her fucking flat belly. I have a belly and I love my belly, but she really loves her too, man. And she's pretty but she's not, you know. I don't know. This is a little bit of a rambling video, I guess, mainly because I'm bored. And I wish I had somebody to talk to right now, but everybody is busy. There's not really many online on Facebook that I want to talk to. And I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I could make a lot of stuff, but I'm not in the mood. After they took me going out, which I told you about in that video, where they took my little piece of freedom away from me because I had some THC in my fucking urine, which I didn't even fucking smoke. I almost wish I took some drugs because I don't deserve being punished like this for not being done anything wrong. But they take drugs in this place much more serious than they actually do take it serious to try to heal the person. All here is like you get medication, but there's no therapy. You know, there's no therapy, and there's no nobody helped me get into the state of mind where I am now. No psychologist, no therapy groups, nothing, no medicine. Medicine definitely didn't make it better. Medicine can help some people, I agree, but it doesn't help everybody. I had to think myself out of my psychosis. It took me 2.5 years, and I had to live through it to be able to be well. But then I got schizophrenic, and I got these compulsive thinkings, and it was all like categorized in like an activity, like black pig, and people like black people were pigs, and gays were pigs, and I wanted to sleep with children. And it wasn't my words, it wasn't my thinking, it was like all that was taboo, my brain was thinking, and I couldn't control it. I was going around hitting myself, hitting the table, I was like, and at the same time I thought that people could hear me thinking, so I was so ashamed at the same time, trying to say sorry. I said sorry maybe 1,000 times an hour, and I was like, I couldn't be around people, I couldn't watch television, I couldn't go shop, I couldn't do a fucking thing. But then eventually I started turning the thoughts around. I started answering these random thoughts that I had all the time. So the black pig became something black beauty. I said, Perker, a Danish word for people, immigrated people. I started to say ærkær, which means you are lovely. I want to sleep with children became I want to sleep with children, but I don't want to have sex with them. So I had to say that like several numbers, like 1,000 times per hour. I couldn't ride the bus because if I looked at a child, my brain instantly had that thought, and I couldn't control it. It was so wild at one point that I was like on the verge of really killing myself in desperation. And I had no help, nobody to understand me, and nobody to understand what I go through. But eventually, this thought started to go away and became less and less because I kept giving it back, feeding my brain, changing my brainwaves because they were being totally destructed. And it took me like 10 years to get over that. And now I can luckily say and happily say that I don't have one compulsive thinking in my brain. I am on a medication called Abilify, which I take like 7 milligrams a day, and I'm like, what do you say? I'm sorry, I just ate. I'm stepping out of it. I went from 300 milligram a month to 200. I am on 200 now. Now next I go to 100. I go to 50, and I want to be out of it. If I start having some of the symptoms again, I will be the first one to say it because I do not, and I repeat, I do not want to be sick or have to suffer like that, because it's a suffering beyond. You cannot, being mentally ill is like the worst suffering that you can go through because it's hell on earth. You have no protection, you have no shield. It's your mind, it's your mind that is so alert and so awake and so distressed that you cannot hide from it. You cannot close your eyes. It's there screaming in your face all the time, and you have to start fighting and work with yourself. And I've seen so many sick people, and I never ever see anybody like get well, because they just get medicated and they turn into zombies, and they don't get to live it out and to find the real methods to like turn it around the right way, and so they can become well, so they can heal themselves like I did, instead of like just popping them full of medication and then hoping the problem goes away, because it doesn't, my friends. You don't get healed for something by being on medication. You have to, like, when you get a mental disorder, you have to fight it, because it's like, it's real, man. It's like, it's fucking real, and you cannot escape it. You can take a lot of medicine and a lot of drugs, or you can drink it away. And I used to drink heavily for a amount of years. I had to drink, like, I ended up being in a really kind of an alcoholic, but I had to drink because it was the only way I could keep those thinking to a level where I was able to exist. And that ruined a big part of my life, and is part of why I ended up in here. And also drugs, but drugs not so much, because drugs is like, I have a very clear relationship with drugs. I don't do drugs at the moment, but I have a relationship with drugs. I like psychedelics, and I like to experiment and expand my horizon. And when I was sick, and I was mostly sick, I was never afraid of doing the psychedelics I did, like LSD or mescaline or whatever drug I did, mushrooms, whatever. That didn't freak me out, because I knew what made me sick. I knew there was this one drug, the Tudor, which I mentioned earlier, and I knew that I was not a drug psychotic like some people get and can get out of. But it's worth to think about that people need help, and people are just put in cages and put in, like, if you're mentally ill and you commit a crime, then it's so much worse because you're mentally ill. It doesn't have to be, but mainly it is. But you get such a hard verdict. If I had been just a normal person who had done a robbery and gone to jail, I would have gotten maybe 1 year, maybe 4 months, and I would have been out again. Now I'm sitting here, and I've been here soon 6 years, and I don't see a perspective in when I get out. I hope I get out this year, but I don't know. It's as simple as that, because I'm like, you don't get a time frame here. You don't get, like, you're out within this. When you sit on this kind of with this kind of judgment over you, you don't get like a day to know when you're out, and that is what makes this the hardest part. You don't have anything to look forward to. You're like stuck in a capsule, and you just hope that someday somebody somewhere reacts and realizes you've been through hell, you've been through enough. You need help, and in my case, I don't need help to get well. I fixed that myself, and nobody else is gonna get the credit for making me sane again. But and I took my punishment long ago. Now I need support to show that I can actually function in this world, and I can be the proper person I am. I'm such a girl. I'm full of so many qualities. I have so much to offer my child, so much to offer the world. I'm very, very talented at many, many things. But I'm stuck in a cube, and I, like, everybody around me knows this, and everybody who knows me knows that I am, and I get like all these offers, like people contact me and they say, we've heard you like have this and this skill, can you help us with this job, and we have this job, and we have this and this, and I'm not and I'm saying, when can you help, and when do you come out, and I'm always like, I don't know, I can't say, I'm sorry, no, I wish. So it's hard, and I just want you people to realize that you can become mentally ill, but you can also become insanely again. And I'm as sane as they come now. My mind is working with extra power now, because I've seen through and I've been through stuff that normal people is not able to cope or even realize this, because you cannot. I thought before I actually went insane, I was sure that I knew how it would be to be insane, because I took LSD like 2,000 times before. I don't know how many times, many times. So I was like under the impression that I knew how much that I couldn't go insane because I already was. But haha, boy was I wrong. Fuck was I wrong. Being insane you cannot explain. It's impossible, and you cannot like cure it without having yourself the understanding of what you need to do. And you cannot take a pill that can cure you. You can like numb something, and you can like suppress some things with the medicine, but you cannot cure it. And that's just the basic facts of things. And I'm proud that I cured myself, but I'm really sad for all those who just get stuck on medication. And I'm really happy I'm not stuck on medication. I'm so happy that I'm on my way out. Even though I don't have a time frame, I'm on my fucking way. I'm gonna get there sooner or later. And I'm not gonna run away anymore because I can't deal with not knowing. I'm not gonna anymore. I'm gonna stay put. I'm gonna behave proper. I want out of here now. I've been here too long, and I'm gonna fucking fight for it. But before, I didn't have the power because I didn't have the... First of all, I was still fighting with myself and still fighting with my inner brain. And actually, I believe hell on earth, if there is a hell, I believe is being mentally ill. You cannot go in more pain or through worse scenarios and see stuff. You see things that aren't real. And not being able to control your brain or be yourself in your brain is like the worst thing that can happen to a person. So screw pain. I mean, pain, you come to a certain point, we know that through torture, where the human body stops reacting to pain, so you won't feel it anymore. It's a fact, that you can lock down and be numb to pain. So I don't fucking fear an eternity in hell. I fear an eternity locked in my brain with the lost of my brain. That's hell on earth, I tell you. So, and God, what is God? God is pure love. Love is God. We are all one. One is all, and that is it. We have to be realizing that we are all the same. We're all matters the same. Some people are just not ready yet because God is like this. In my perspective, it's like a spiral. In the center, we have God of this spiral. On the way, there's all these small crosses, dots, whatever you want to. Crosses is maybe a very bad reference. Dots on the way, and one of them is you, and one of them is me, and somebody's just closer to God to reaching nirvana or blissfulness or full awareness or what you want to call it. It doesn't matter, because that doesn't change the fact of what it is. And nirvana is God, and God is love, and love is all there is. And that is knowledge. My God. I'm not scared of death because I don't believe in death. I've been dead. It's a long story. It has something to do with what I experienced in India on the trip. I was on the biggest trip. But what you experience in a hallucination, whether it being on DMT, being on the Tourette, being on peyote or whatever drug which gives you hallucination, is real. Like when you dream, it's real. You cannot say you wake up and think it's a dream, but it doesn't matter. You lived through that, whatever you lived through, and it's real. The first time I had hallucinations, I saw spiders everywhere, and I freaked out. I was lying for hours looking at these, and suddenly I just freaked out. And my boyfriend was pissed at me because I had been away for 2 days. He couldn't find me. Me was partying, and then he just said to me, "Hey, is there normally spiders on the wall?" And I was like, "Oh no." And then I could like trip down and relax, and I always kept that in mind because that's not normal, but it does make it less real. You just see it through dimensions. Oh man, I can go on and on and on about stuff, And I'm probably gonna do this. I don't know if I'm gonna upload this video, but I probably am because I'm tired of being in a cage. I want to get out there and I want to talk to people and I want to have some discussion and some things going around, some communication around these subjects because I'm sick of mentally ill people or mentally challenged people or mentally evolved people. Because let me tell you something, being schizophrenic in India, for example, or the south of the US, South America, is seen upon as being holy woman and holy men, where in the West you're just mentally ill. I believe that I am a holy woman because I've lived through all this and I've seen all this. I believe I'm a form for shamanistic person because I can see things and I can do things. I can make things happen with my mind. And you can say, oh man, she's just a crazy shithead and she's just full of it. No, I actually seen the proof of it. I see the evidence of it every day. And it's not a secret. The secrets doesn't exist. You are what you are. You are what you make it. And the world is as you created. I truly believe what you visualize, you materialize. But in fact, that everybody does this. You know, we are also one greater collective. In life, what is it called? Intellectual. Enlightened. In whole, you know, so we all inflict each other with the karma, but karma has to exist for you to learn, because you have to do something to learn not to do it, or to choose what is right and what is wrong. You have to go through all these paths and make choices. It's all about choices, and it's about evolving, it's about learning, it's about getting to a higher self. And when you get there, man, does it feel good, you know. And I'm not saying that but I'm saying actually I feel one with God, because I'm constantly in the good service of the Lord. No, but in the light of I'm so positive, and I'm full of love. And I've been packed away from the world for over 5 years in a box, left alone. And I still have the power to love everything and everybody around me and give so much and share so much. And people love me because of that. And where do I get that power from? I get that power from faith in knowing what I know is truth. And truth is that you create your own hell. And that's why this is not hell for me. This in here could be hell for me. But I've been through it, my friends. And I don't believe I can go back. Because I came out of it without the medication, without being numbed, without being turned into a zombie. I was practically normal. I will never be normal. But I will never be a robot either. Or maybe I will when they upload my mind into a computer. I don't know what is going to happen. And there's so many things going on. And there's all this about the Illuminati and everything. And I had time to study it all. But there's so much to talk about. And I don't know where to stop. And I don't know what to start. But I told you a little bit more about me. And I hope that for all the mental people that you ever meet, and the people who are not seeming to do the right thing, or seem strange, or seem weird to you, or do weird things, and that you consider them a part of yourself too, and you treat them like you would want them to treat you, and that you try to understand them and give them love and compassion, instead of turning your back and whispering or making them into something that you don't even know if they are, because you don't know what they're seeing. You don't know where on the path to God they are. You have no rights to think that you're more valuable than they are. And if you do so, then you lose your rights to be valuable. You degrade yourself and you demean yourself. And me sitting here behind your bars being judged and still being in jail for something that happened so long ago, and that was such a nothing. I never hurt anybody, and I would never hurt anybody. And I don't deserve being here, and everybody who knows me knows this. But I take it, I bite the sour apple, and I still choose to love. I don't hate the system. I don't hate the people who put me here. I don't hate the staff here. I don't hate the people who is not enlightened enough or smart enough to or big enough of the soul. I feel pity for them. And you know, they don't see the beauty. They don't get all the good you know what? I wish them all the well that I can, but sometimes you gotta give up even, but not really, because you cannot give up on a person. I've tried, but I've never been successful of giving up. Even the people I hate, I carry love for in my heart, because I know I can never put myself in their shoes, and neither should you. You should never pretend to know that you know what somebody else is feeling or thinking. And you should always remember that. Always. And keep just do good. And we have one planet or one plane or whatever. If the Earth turns out to be flat, who cares? We need to take care of what we got. And we gotta start making it better. Because we have children. It's just not all about you. It's a whole, and we gotta pick everybody up, and we gotta move to the right place. It's a state of mind. I have to stop now because I've been talking a lot. I've been talking for 30 minutes, and I don't want to ramble anymore. But I want to wish you all namaste, and I want to remind you what it means. It means I offer my devotion for you, and, well, to be specific, let me just be specific. I bow for you. The divine in me bows for you, for the divine in you. Namaste. Take care. I hope you subscribe to my channel. I hope you like my video. I hope you have the same ideas I have about what is right and what is not. And I hope that you give me some support. Peace out. Take care. Love.